Welcome in, my brother in broadcast, Steve Azar. Good morning, Steve. How are you, sir?
Brother Paul, I'm in my studio looking at a lot of guitars, wondering if I should write a song, but I'm probably not going to. I don't have time. Good morning.
I need to send you a couple of hooks. I think of the hooks. I can think of the first two lines, and I do that probably on a daily basis. I said, that's great, and I leave it there.
I think I'm going to start with this.
Yeah.
Good morning, Brother Paul. You were born and raised in Shaw without a flaw. Hey, that's my Brother Paul. What do you think?
Ooh, I don't know about the flaw thing, though, but if you're searching for a word, we might wait to come up with something else. Here, let me throw this one on you. Let me throw this one on you as a opening quick shot here. Sometimes your marketing people go above and beyond what you need them to do. Sometimes they earn their money in more ways than one. And whoever happens to be at this restaurant did this. I think you'll appreciate this one. It's a Tennessee woman in the volunteer state. She takes her son out for a steak dinner, and it was at a nice steakhouse. And she gets a murder certificate with her meal. And I'm not kidding on this. I mean, it's engraved. Her name was Robin Onby. And she took to the social media to display the certificate, which included a detailed account at this Japanese-bred steer's life. It included the steer's birthday, the steer's age, what his hometown happened to be, the harvest date, the carcass number. and that bothered her so much, she felt like she'd committed a murder. That's crazy. Do you really want to know your chicken's life when you go to Kentucky Fried Chicken? No.
I mean, we got a lot of farmer friends we grew up with that know it all, but we're going to let them keep the secret from us.
Yeah, you can leave that certificate at home. I think that was TMI, too much information. Look, we're around the corner. Are you ready for this one again? For the, I don't know what year this is now that you've done this. Is it? I can't even begin to guess.
It's been a bunch of them. I know that we jump around on the hours. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, but I think we're at 36 hours this year. I think if my Mississippi Delta math is correct, it's pretty good. That is unbelievable. Do you use some elements from? I'm sure you use some elements from last year, but there's a lot of new also that goes in there. Yeah, we got a lot of great sponsors. I love the fact that Farm Families of Mississippi, they're one of the big sponsors this year, if not the biggest. We have a lot of great sponsors from all over. I know my brother Joe in Panola jumped in, and there's Panola County there. And so I know that I heard it went really well there. So that means we're, I guess, putting people in the Christmas spirit. So I'm glad people love it. I know I get a lot of text messages from a lot of folks that I don't have their numbers stored in my phone going, this is the best. I love it. Thank you for putting us in the mood. And I'm going like, I want to go, what do you always say? I've got a new phone, and that excuse runs out, and I don't have your contact stored. But it's good to hear people. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Will, our partner there, our producer, program director, he's the man behind the madness.
I know. It boggles the mind. I've often said when you go into the production studio and he leaves some work behind and you look at what he's putting together, it is amazing to me. He's a tremendous talented guy, and he's been part of the family for a long time now. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah, he's the best.
You know the great thing about what stands out on this show, beyond everything else, you can turn on just most other stations, and you're going to get Santa Claus is Coming to Town 5,000 times. But what's so different about this is different music and a lot of Mississippi musicians, too, that we normally don't hear.
Well, just like we have great football players and great athletes, we obviously are the birthplace of America's music. And so, you and me both understand the history in the state of Mississippi throughout. You can comb this state, and it's never going to get tiring. There's so much talent, so many great, obviously, Christmas records that have been made. So we could spend days on just that. But, yeah, we stretch it pretty good. I'm a sucker. Like right now in my studio, Gwen has put up, I got the Dean Martin Christmas album and the Elvis Christmas album staring at me right when I look at my computers. And and I love those records, and they're classic. So you get mixing that with, you know, a lot of what we have here in Mississippi and beyond. Yeah, we do a really good job. Will does a great job. When we discussed this years ago, we were going, let's be better than everybody else and not repeat. And we discovered a lot of great Christmas songs.
Yeah, some you probably never heard before, which is a shame because some of the music, it's harder than ever to get your music on music radio. It's just impossible. As far as Christmas music, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of money. So,
what, are you talking payola today, or what are you talking about?
Hey, you know, in some sort of way, it still sort of exists. I've got the best stories. I got the best stories. I'm looking at my buddy Harry Bud Nelson right now, who ran my record label, who was from the Hattiesburg area, who we lost a few years ago, and I look at him every day. I was a huge mentor of mine. I met him when he was the program director in Boston, a legend in radio, right? Mm-hmm. And he used to Harry would he was talking about, oh man, I'm going to lose my mind here. You had me thinking. I start getting emotional when I think about Harry. Let's move on because I may start tearing up. I had something to say, and I lost my mind. So there you go. That's
all right. That's okay. You're going to be picking and grinning a couple of songs on here too, and my understanding.
Yeah. Oh, I know the story. It was about these two Italian brothers who were basically mob. He said they used to come in and grab his shoulders and go, "Harry, you're gonna play this record, right?" And he would go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna play this record." And so, anyway, he had stories of PDs getting thrown down the stairs and all that. He said, "I'm not gonna be one of those." I mean, this was in the early days, you know. So yeah. I finally remembered. Sorry, H Bud, but yeah, we're gonna be playing a lot of stuff. You know, I've got Catfish Christmas for Me. I mean, that's my only song I've ever written about Christmas. It was a true story about having a Christmas party with my buddy Danny Oberly from Leland, who I grew up with, went to college with, and we call him Tweety, and he made Catfish for us in Music City every Christmas. And then Gwen one day made an official card, and we sent it out to everybody. I looked at the card and I saw Catfish Christmas, and I said, I got to write the song. So there you go.
Wow. You're not going to do another one? Why haven't you put together a full Christmas album, though?
Why do you sound like my dad and mom right now? You know,
because we're probably the same age. Why haven't you put out a Christmas album?
No, they've been telling me for years they would love me to do it, and so is Gwen. But I just, I don't know. I probably need to do it, and I just don't, have time in the.
Well, here's the suggestion. From fatherly advice on this one.
Okay.
Your creativity burns sometimes, and you just need to write, and maybe it's the most inauspicious time, and you can't. So then use it for a Christmas song, even in the heat of July, because you got to start putting this thing out when. Got to be completed with a Christmas album by when?
Well,
I would think late spring.
Fall, right?
Oh, by the fall.
I would think you put a Christmas album out by December 1, but it needs to be out in November, December. Maybe Thanksgiving weekend's the perfect time to put it out.
That's not what I'm talking. When to be completed, so it could get to the process, be written and recorded, and it needs to be done earlier than that, so you can get the marketing and
you got to get
distribution
it in the system. It's got to be distributed, so you got to have a month there. You got to do photos. So you're talking summer for sure.
Absolutely. So when your creative juices are going, then use them for just one song, and then a little bit later on, one more. And before you know it, you've got, what do you need, 6 tracks on an album?
I'm not going to get down and do 50 push-ups for you right now, nor am I picking up my guitar. You're starting to stress me.
Well, I'm just saying your creativity is there, and we'd love to have the whole thing.
You got to do it in that time frame. You're right, and I need to do it. Maybe before it's all over, I'll do it.
What about some stories incorporated in that 36 hours?
Yeah, we got a lot of stories from folks I've had on my show.
Yeah.
I love
Can
it.
you hold on for a moment? A bumper is playing, and I think I recognize the song. So we'll take a quick break back with Steve Azar in just a moment. Steve Azar, who is also our music and cultural ambassador. What kind of a year has it been for that, Steve, across the state? I know you've put a lot of miles on.
I tell you what, Paul, there has been so many incredible new singer-songwriters. You know, some I've interviewed, a lot from Meridian. Lots going on there. They've got something going on in the water there. A lot of folks are making their way. Obviously, Philadelphia, Mississippi, where Pearl River Resort is, they spawn a great act. So there's just, with Hardy, I mean, there's just a lot happening in Mississippi again. You know, it just keeps coming. It's just the most interesting thing how just in pockets, different times, different cities sort of take the torch and roll with it, and which keeps us and our claim of being the birthplace of America's music even valid today. You know, it's not just looking at the past. The present is it's steeped in incredible artists. It's amazing.
And I think the appreciation of that is certainly not waning. It's getting more and more so as we get more and more people coming in and visiting the museum. And they understand how big a part music is to when you hear the birthplace of American music. That's a great slogan. But, I mean, when you start coming and looking at the museums and it all becomes tangible and you can see this thing, you understand how that is part of the fabric of this state. In so many genres, it's absolutely incredible. We took ownership. I'm pretty sure it was Governor Barber during that time talking to C. Ray all those times when I was on the road with Craig Ray. And he was filling me in, taught me a lot, that man. He was amazing, his passion for it. But he believed in music and using it, to take back that claim. When I was in Nashville for those 20 years, I always make the joke on my radio show, but it's not a joke. Texas folks would act like it was theirs, like football's theirs. And I would go, well, I got to tell you, I disagree with you. But we weren't owning it, and now we do. And since then, it's opened up all of these opportunities just because of that slogan and just realizing that the importance that we made on the world of music. It's crazy. I mean, all dots connect back to Mississippi. Yep. No matter where you come from, you can go to Motown. You can become the Beatles invasion, the British invasion. You can go anywhere around the world, and if it's popular, and they're going to probably trace it back to Muddy Waters or Robert Johnson or B.B. King, or it's going to come back to us. It's pretty cool. You know when that really comes to fruition too is our production David Day guy, who's a digital nomad, travels around the world, and he records at different sites. He may do the next liners for me in Spain or something, but for the line, and he's on Instagram, so you can see this. He'll be in Italy or Spain, or you never know where he's going to show up, and some little place as a cafe. And he's sitting there listening to B.B. King or Muddy Waters and starts breaking out the conversation. And all of a sudden, they know all about Mississippi and they know about Elvis, et cetera. And it's just amazing, the worldwide influence on that. Well, when I'd go, no matter where I've been around the world, and I've been pretty far away from Mississippi, I can tell you, they were always intrigued when they said that. And even when I toured Bob Seger for that 8 or 9 months in 06, 07, when we played 50 shows together, or I think it was 48 exactly, but Bob would say, "You're from there." I mean, I would love hearing him say the way he'd say, "You're from there." And to kick his set off, I went down to the Delta, which was on that Face the Promise record. And that's how he started his tour every night. He'd stare at me because I couldn't help it. I'd be with his wife, Nita, and daughter, Sam, and everything after I played my show. And I'd be from the side of the stage. I was such a fan, when you get the call that you're going to go tour with somebody that you really, really respected and was a big influence on my music. He was one of the ones, the way he told his stories, and you knew he was from the Midwest. You knew it. I wanted to write about Mississippi, and I wanted folks to know that was where I was from. So I took that premise, and I took it out there. And no matter where I was, people knew it from me in song. So, it was pretty cool. So, but a lot of people go, "You're from there." I said, "Yeah, dang right I am." And when you are and you grow up on a Mississippi farm in the Mississippi Delta, you do your DNA test and you find that 2/3 of that is Delta dirt. So it's we're ingrained with that. You can't get that away from us. One more thing. I don't want to run out of time. But just again, kudos to you and the effort on the air. We had pushed the heck out of it. We thought, okay, this is going to be monumental because there are a lot of people who've tried for a lot of decades, and they've never been successful. But finally, we come up with a new song, and it was a winner. One Mississippi, and it's meant so much to our state.
Man,
what's that meant to you?
Paul, it's been unbelievable with the book and having now a curriculum. Basically, schools, so many schools are adopting it. William Carey College, Dr. Tenori took it, and she's teaching the teachers that teach, and they're taking it out there. But we have experienced so many wonderful schools and kids from all walks, and they are singing it so proudly, and it's the most gratifying accomplishment of my life, having the state song. But now watching kids see the book with Sarah Frances Hardy's illustrations, and the book has been on fire in Mississippi. It's been number one for many, a bunch of weeks in and out of the bestseller for young adults and children. So, I mean, just watching everybody gravitate towards the teachers, the kids, and the kids sing with me every word. I mean, it's been there's nothing that it all came back. I made my move from Nashville to Music City, from Music City back to Mississippi. Make all the sense in the world.
It's going to last. It will last long after you and I are both gone, and that's just an incredible thing. It really is.
Grateful.
Somebody asked me, what's Steve's relationship with Paul Thorne? I have no idea.
I love Paul Thorne. He's a crazy, talented guy, man. And obviously, you don't want to fight him because he was a serious boxer, but crazy-minded, really wild-minded, a special Mississippi treasure for sure.
Have you run out of people to interview, or do you need another golf tournament?
No, I'm thinking about calling you. I was about to call you, by the way.
No, you've done that. You've done that. I'm used. I'm used material.
We got part 7.
No, I have nothing more. That was it. You've learned it all. It's it. Hey, look, a little before I leave you here, and I don't want to give up this idea of a Christmas album because I think it's important. Now, I got one coming up in a moment or two. It's from a guy named Walker Hayes. And Walker Hayes has got a song called Fancy Like Christmas. You have any idea where that came from?
No. Where did it come from?
Well, it's fancy like Applebee's.
Oh, they're probably it can get a little corny sometimes.
That's what I'm trying to lead you into. I don't have to be me till Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
See?
Paul.
Why do I have to do all the work for you?
I don't know, but I got chills. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, that reminds me of the show Love Actually.
Hey, how come you haven't talked to me earlier?
I don't have to be me till Christmas. Come on.
That's it. All right, man. Look, congratulations on that. We're looking forward to it. It starts at 1 o'clock, by the way, right?
Yeah, I think so. And
1 o'clock.
Kudos to Will East for helping. He's the one. He's the mastermind.
Mega cute. Yeah, and if there's any dead air or anything, then kudos to Will for making sure that doesn't happen.
No.
That's it.
No, he takes full advantage.
Listen, it is like putting together a big jigsaw puzzle, and you have to have everything together in 36 hours. I can't even imagine.
He's amazing. I'm telling you, he's got.
I know.
People he's an octopus. His mind works like an octopus.
When we have a trouble sometimes with the internet and things like that, I call Will and hope he's not out of town somewhere. Listen, to you and the family, please have a good Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I thank you, brother. We'll be listening 1 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And thank you for being with us through the Christmas season.
Love you, brother Paul. Blessings. Merry Christmas,
you got it.
Everybody.
Take care now. Start working.